everybody, it's Turnbuckle Bandwagon. My name is Matt D. We're doing something a little different this evening. We're kind of doing a preview show for the upcoming WWR Say You'll Be There show and Beyond's big event of the year, Americanrana. Joining me is official PWI contributor and friend of the show, Andrea Hangst. Andrea, how are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be back. Excited to talk about this big weekend we've got.
It's Americanrana weekend. You know, it's Beyond's been back since May doing shows, and Americanrana is the biggest show of the year. It's maybe feels it's a different vibe because shows have just been back this year. I don't know I don't know how folks outside of this area see it. But what's coming up that you're excited for? Anything in particular that you've seen or heard?
I'm just excited because Americanrana is just always such a great event. The crowd is always into it, and there's going to actually be fans there. I think that's extremely exciting. I'm also curious to see what happens with Chris Dickinson having to take on four competitors in the main event. Not saying that he can't do it, because Chris Dickinson's capable of all kinds of things. But I'm curious what comes of that, or if we might get some surprises in that main event in terms of maybe a little bit of assistance for Dickinson from maybe a Pazuzu brother of his or something.
He's got a lot of friends out there, friends that come from different places, be it Team Pazuzu, be it certain, other bad boy influential friends,
Yes.
Who knows who may show up.
He knows a certain bad boy.
he's got friends out there, and if they were to show up, I don't think anyone in the White Eagle or watching at home on IWTV would be all that upset.
I don't.
One of the matches that's kind of and we'll get into the WR show. We've got some guests coming. Kaia McKenna is going to join us in a bit to talk about her match with Kimberly, and I didn't expect a match like that to happen. Kimberly to me is like, she's an OG.
She's a legend. She's a legend at this point.
And I've interviewed Kaia McKenna. Kaia McKenna is great. She's a great athlete. But, this is Kimberly though, so we'll get into that. But one of the matches in Americanrana that really kind of I didn't think would be all that. I don't know. Maybe you always get those matches that maybe aren't like blowing anyone's skirt or but like Dan Barry versus Dutch.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who's been a long time Beyond fan and is familiar with Team Tremendous and that whole thing, and they've had their issues, but this like feels different. Like Dutch, the former Dan Carr, has, part of ROH and Vincent's whole thing, and Dan Barry just seems to be in a different place with this match.
Yes.
And that's it's a no DQ match. So
as it should be.
As it should be, to be honest. Anyone who's seen Team Tremendous in their matches, especially their matches at Beyond, when I think there were 2 or 3 straight years at Heavy Lies the Crown, which is Beyond's New Year's Eve show, where they were involved in like no DQ street fight, fans bringing the weapons matches.
Yeah, that would be
good. And now the WWR show is first up. That starts in the afternoon, starts at 1:00. There's still tickets available for that. So if Americanrana is done, Americanrana sold out. There is nothing left, but you can still attend the WR show. That starts, I believe, at 1:00. Streaming live IWTV. A number of good matches for that. And we've got the return on both ends of Jordan Grace and Kimberly to like the White Eagle and the WWR Beyond fold, which is great. Now you've seen going through kind of the matches here, and I'll leave Kaia McKenna's and Kennedi Copeland's matches for when we talk to them.
Yeah.
The one that I'm a huge tag team wrestling fan, and that tag team match they announced,
the Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet. I don't know how that's gonna go, but it is a massive tag team gauntlet match it's the Kings of the District, it's the Scrunchy Pals, Higher Society, the Top Dogs, together for the first time in Beyond in well over a year, with Davian and Skylar, the outfielders, Boomer Hatfield and McCoy, Team C Stars, who have basically established themselves as the tag team of WWR. And this is a gauntlet, so 2 teams will. My understanding of gauntlet rules is 2 teams start, team gets eliminated, another team comes in.
Yeah.
All of these bodies with the Sea Stars and Top Dogs being established, and Higher Society and the Outfielders and the Kings of the District trying to kind of make their mark. Can this match be like a changing of the guard, or like the folks who've been around for a bit kind of stake, keep their flag in the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question, because it really could go any way. And the great thing too is to have all of these different tag teams working together in this match, and people being able to, oh, I'm familiar with Team Sea Stars, I'm not familiar with the Scrunchy Pals, or what, you know what I mean? And so it's a good showcase as well for how much, great tag team wrestling is going on in WWR and in Beyond.
Yeah. I mean, and this isn't, I don't think this is hyperbole. The tag team division in WWR and Beyond has been a little thin lately, but it's growing because these newer teams are coming in. And I had a chance, I reached out to Eel O'Neill of Kings of the District. I kind of asked him what he wanted for the Kings, and he wants his team, him and Jordan Blade, they want to be the team in WWR and Beyond. They feel this is their chance to come in, establish themselves. But you have the Scrunchy Pals, which have worked very well. Becca's basically rookie of the year at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just blown up over the past 12 months. Erica Lee, same thing. And I think the dark horse here might be kind of ahead of me, but like Higher Society, Paris Van Der Money Chaos, they're a good team. I don't know. This is one of those where I'm excited to see it, and it's, I don't want to pick. I'm picking the Kings of the District as a winner. I think that they'll win, but I won't be mad if any of these teams come away with the W.
Yeah, it's kind of a pick 'em.
It really is a pick 'em. There's a very interesting Jordan Grace making her return to WWR Beyond. She's been Impact Knockouts champion, Impact Knockouts tag team champion, I believe, as part of her. She's was a big part of Beyond's growth in the past few years before, she signed on with Impact. She's taking on the newer Ashley D'Amboise. Both are very impressive. Going to be a very, very physical match. And
yes. I've seen Ashley in a few different promotions in the past year. She's gotten some opportunities in AEW on Dark Elevation, and I've seen her in a few other indies. She's definitely, someone to watch in terms of like her stock is on the rise and her name is becoming more recognized out there. So I think getting a match against Jordan Grace, I mean, that's great. That's a great moment for a young career,
Yeah, she is. I mean, Ashley's very new. I believe this is her second or third year in wrestling. I believe second. But going up against someone like a Jordan Grace, who, if you don't bring your A+ physical game, Jordan's just gonna drag you around that ring.
Yep.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Someone gets in there who underestimates her, and she's like, I've seen her just straight pick people up and just legit toss them across the ring. She doesn't mess around.
Yeah, no. What I'm really curious about in terms of this card is Willow Nightingale and a mystery partner. So are we assuming therefore it's not Solo Darling? So then who would it be?
I don't know. I've reached out to a couple of folks I know here and there. I will honestly say I don't think Solo will be back, just because I know she was dealing with some concussion, some other health issues. Concussions are weird. I mean, they can take 3 weeks, they can take 3 months. As much as I would love to see Solo back, I've been a fan of hers for a long time. I'm not banking on it, but this is the administration. So it's Tina San Antonio, Damian Adams, which when he was assigned as a special ref in that last show, I should have known that something was up. And then there's other guy who ran out. I don't know who I mean, it could be Willow's got a lot of friends, a lot of folks who be willing to step up and help her.
Oh yes, of course. She's got lots of friends. Maybe Edith Surreal.
I love it if Edith came back again, dealing with concussion issues, but Edith coming out would be, injury sideline aside, she's been amazing to watch develop, grow, and see how people respond to Edith Surreal. The response has been great, and it was very surprising to me, because some wrestling fans can be a little rough and a little narrow sometimes, but the response everywhere Edith Surreal has been surprising and warm and welcoming.
Yes, absolutely. And she's had such a great year. So hopefully, with her injury issues and stuff, that they don't linger for too long, because she's just built up so much momentum, really.
Yeah, her if y'all want to bounce around an IWTV, Camp Leapfrog had an event, and one of the matches was a Soviet death match where it was Edith Surreal against Masha Slamovich. It was, I love stuff like I like the cinematic matches, but something like this I wouldn't call cinematic. I would
more
just
like campy, and not just because it's Camp Leapfrog.
yeah. And here's the thing: I don't think it was campy at calling it a Soviet death match.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was filmed outside in I think January or February.
Yeah, it was winter, like freezing. Yeah.
Snow. So they're wrestling outside. I mean, when it's cold out and you're trying to keep your breath, anyone who's played a sport outside knows it's not easy.
And painful things hurt more.
Yeah, getting dropped hurts more. Even like something small falling on your hand hurts more. I mean, Masha jumped off a roof. Edith Surreal like jump. It was a crazy track it down. Edith can fight as well as get in there and be a technical wrestler. Mm-hmm. And her if we're talking about her like she's coming back. So you know what? I hope she comes back because she's so long. Yes. She's so long, like the technical, she has such the edge there against a lot of competitors because she has the length and the reach to just grab somebody and stretch them out.
Yep.
And the Americanrana card is fairly packed. We've got Dan Barry versus Dutch, Chris Dickinson versus
everybody,
Alexander James and Richard Holiday and Wheeler Yuta, and just it's and anyone who follows me on Twitter knows I dog Alexander James a lot. I do. I think he's a little bit of a dork. However, Wheeler Yuta, IWTV champion. Mm-hmm. Richard Holiday. I've said people may not like him. I'm a fan. He's a Connecticut guy, but Richard Holiday is a professional wrestler.
Oh yes,
in every aspect of the term. The way he performs, the way you even see him before and after matches, even like if he's at his merch table, he is well appointed, even in athleisure wear at all times. The man is a professional wrestler. So I'm interested how that match goes. I'd someday like to see, and I think I've only seen it once before, is Dickinson versus Holiday one-on-one, because I think that would be a solid professional wrestling match.
Yes, I agree.
Yep. And the other, the I don't know if it's the fun one, but I guess there's a newly reformed like Club Cam.
Yeah.
Which anyone who's watching Uncharted Territory knows what I'm talking about. Cam Zagami
and his leather pants.
And his leather pants. He walks out. I need 4 to maybe 5 showers.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of new Club Cam. It's going to be Bobby Orlando, Bryce Donovan, the Shook Crew, Aaron Rourke, who have all kind of seemed to have allied with Cam Zagami. Don't know why, because I don't think Aaron Rourke needs any of that.
No.
Neither do Bryce and Bobby, but whatever. Going up against probably the most violent combination of people I've ever seen put on one side in the returning Bear Country.
Yes.
And Slade.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's I mean, that's like, it sounds like a death sentence.
Anyone who's been watching Beyond has seen what Slade is doing.
Oh my God. Slade scares me. Like Slade scares me in the way that like when I was a kid, I was afraid of Sid Vicious. Like he's got that vibe. He is. And as someone who has been in the venue with him in person,
Andrea is not BSing. Slade is I don't know if intimidating or scary is the right word. There is a vibe around Slade that when he is doing what he's doing, people just back up and let him do his thing, because so not the last Beyond show, but I guess the Beyond show before, when Bobby Orlando was in the ring, talking about this and that, I was sitting on kind of the hard camera side where the seats are and saw Slade come up the stairs. So I saw the head, and then he was just wearing a white t-shirt, but he was just coming right up those stairs. People saw him when he hit the top of the landing, and people just like, that's what you see when he turned. Yeah. And as we all saw, it didn't end well for Bobby because he ended up going through a table fairly firm.
Yeah.
It was,
It's gonna be nice, but it is, nice is kind of a weird word to say in this talking about this particular match, but it's gonna be nice to see Bear Country back in the White Eagle.
The returning Bear Country, Bear Bronson's been holding it down the singles matches in AEW Dark Elevation. Bear Boulder's just back from an injury. Like he is fresh. They are ready to go. Again, if you've watched Beyond in the past and you've seen what Bear Country can do, I think the new Club Cam is gonna be like grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, and I don't think Cam is gonna get out of this cleanly either.
He hasn't. He's been getting just.
He never does.
Well, the last show he did, I think because he didn't come out with his stupid music, he just came out, talked to Aaron, talked to Bryce and Bobby, maybe kept it low key. Every other show that he's come out and run his mouth, he's ended up dead, and I've got the pictures to prove it because there's a picture of me standing in front of an unconscious Cam Zagami.
He figured he'd learn his lesson by now.
You figure he doesn't learn?
No, he doesn't learn. It's Cam.
It's Cam. So we're going to preview this waiting on guests. Kennedi Copeland's going to join us shortly. Kaia McKenna. Those are the two guests I'm sure I confirmed, but you never know. People pop in, people pop out. Hopefully having Matt Makowski a bit later on to discuss that match. And I kind of want to discuss it with Matt when he gets here, because whoever wins that, and I'll ask him about it because Matt was asking for not asking. I mean, Matt Makowski's been on a roll.
Yes.
So
oh my gosh. Yes.
And if anyone is in line for a shot at that IWTV title, it's Matt Makowski. There's maybe one or two other people who can say, yeah, they should get a shot or a rematch. The Beyond Breakout match, which is going to be Trish Adora, Willow, Matt Makowski, and oh man, I just went blank. That's horrible. I feel bad now. I need to actually check my notes again.
Alec Price,
yeah. I mean, the Price of the OG, he's kind of the wild card here. That is going to be I got to feel whoever wins this gets a shot.
Oh, they have to. That has to be the result of this. It has to be. I
mean, how can you not? I mean, Alec Price being the wild card, but I want to ask Matt how he feels about it, because his matches have been one-on-one, and he is a capable competitor. But how do you deal with that when and we're about to be joined by Kaia McKenna, when you have all of that going on? And we're going to go ahead and bring in our first guest.
Yay.
Here, and I even have a crown. We're good to go.
Everyone joining the Turnbuckle bandwagon in our unofficial preview show, taking on Kimberly this Sunday at WWR. Say you'll be there. The Good Witch, the Conduit of Karma, Kaia McKenna. Kaia, this is Andrea Hangst from PWI.
Hi, how are you, Andrea?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, trying to plug in my light so everybody can actually see my face.
Oh, we can see you. I can see you and hear you just fine.
There we go. Okay, cool. All right, we're good now. Yes.
Before we get into the match, you had a Spaces the other day where you were talking about the racket that is Easy Pass. I agree with you. I've been there.
Yeah, Easy Pass. I don't know about all that. That's not good karma.
No, it's not. Everybody needs to sort themselves out. Kai, again, thank you so much for joining us at the end of a long day.
Of course, thank you guys for having me tonight.
Yeah, they announced this match, and I was kind of shocked with this. I mean, not to quote throw, the resume of the person you're facing.
Yeah, it's a very tall order.
It is, yeah. Kimberly, current Shimmer champ, she's been there, done it all. Tell me when you found out, was this kind of like, hey, this is you're facing? Or was this something in the works? What was your reaction when you found out? That's what I'm curious about.
It was kind of like, oh, hey, this is who you're facing. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I was really excited because to be in the ring with somebody who is so traveled and so accomplished is such an honor, especially for someone like me who's very early on in their career. It's a great learning opportunity, win or lose. So I just was really honored and very excited because I was obviously a wrestling fan before I was a wrestler, so I am familiar with Kimberly's body of work, and she's had quite an impressive career. So, like I said, it's an honor to be able to step in the ring with her.
Was there any change after the initial, oh, this is cool, like maybe a couple hours later, you were like, okay, now I have to game plan for Kimberly?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. Sometimes you have those make you or break you moments, and I feel like this could definitely be one of those for me, especially returning off of injury. So I've just tried to do everything I can in my power to be super prepared for it. Obviously, taking care of myself and continuing to complete my rehab, but also like mentally making sure I'm in a good space, like making sure I'm getting sleep, making sure I'm eating like good meals to fuel my body, like, and then making sure I'm doing a lot of self-care too. Because I feel like a lot of times when we prepare for battle, we focus on the physical aspect of it and not the mental aspect. But it's just as important to be in a good mental space when you enter a big match or big battle as it is to be physically prepared. So lots of that as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to go into it and feel overwhelmed by being intimidated by the moment or the opponent or the, you know, or the venue, the situation, the show that you're on. So you need to like get your mind right and push all that
100%.
and push all that stuff out.
Yeah, it's so easy to get into your head. It really is. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, most people, like, you get into your head about small stuff throughout the day, all throughout the day, right? Let alone like big matches and big opportunities. So you just have to be very confident, but take care of yourself and recognize your own ability and that you're there because you're good as well. And you deserve to be there and you deserve to win, you know, like, so you need to make it happen for yourself. It's confidence is definitely a huge thing, you know, especially you don't want to put any negative energy out into the world or surrounding any circumstance you're involved in, right? So I've been trying to just be very confident and have good energy going into this match and formulate as much of a game plan as I can. You know, obviously you do a little tape study, you see what your opponent's been busting out and how you can best prepare for it. But, you know, sometimes when it's, you have to get in the ring and then you could think you have the plan and then it changes and then you have to be able to adapt and overcome. So just trying to make sure you're ready for anything that comes down the pike in that match is like a huge thing too, you know,
Yeah.
Especially with somebody who has so much experience. It's hard to prepare for people like that. People that are new or people that are newer, it's like they have like their game, they have their one or two things that they do, and like you can prepare for that very easily. But when you have somebody who's a world traveled veteran like that and very decorated, it's like, man, they've wrestled many people and they've probably seen it all at this point. So it's hard to be like, you know, how are you going to be different? How are you going to catch them off guard when they've seen so much and they know how to handle so many different people and different styles and different techniques?
Yeah, I was going to
mention
mention. Challenge. You mentioned tape study last time we talked. We talked a lot how you love wrestling, love to watch wrestling.
With Kim, I do love to watch wrestling.
I mean, you're gonna study the tape and see what you can do. I mean, her feud against Chris Statlander is kind of like Beyond Wrestling legend up here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, I mean, I'm excited for it. Is there anything else like on the card that you saw that kind of like stuck out to you that was like, wow, that's maybe one I need to watch when, you know, when the day's done, or maybe I can peek my head around the curtain for?
Oh my God, like every match is really good. I'm actually looking forward to like the tag gauntlet, believe it or not, because there's so much like good talent in that match and like so many different styles and different personalities. And to me, I feel like that'll be just a really interesting, nice little matchup to see. Right. I'm all about that.
Nice.
That'll be really fun. I think Kayla Sparks and Alicia Edwards is going to be a fun match too, especially with the history surrounding that. I saw some picture. It was like they were together 15 years ago or something. Yeah. I don't even know if it was that. Maybe it wasn't that long, but it was a while back. And I was like, oh, that's so cool that they have this build. And it's like they're telling this story. So I'm very excited to see that match. And I do have a little present, a witchy present for Miss Kimberly, which you guys are going to have to come on Sunday to see what it is.
Oh, nice.
Is that fair?
Oh, I'll be there. I'm there. I'm there for both shows.
All right.
I was going to ask if there was any special prep. Here it is. There's the prep.
Here's the teaser. There is something in this box for her, but you will have to watch. Say you'll be there to find out what is inside.
Live on IWTV, 1 o'clock start, I believe.
Yeah.
That you can. There's space available for WWR. Americanrana sold out. But even if you're in Worcester, and come on by, just pop in.
Yeah, 100% for sure.
Watch some wrestling.
It's always good to support us and support the crowd. There's so much like good upcoming talent on WWR Plus too. I mean, seeing girls like Megan and Ashley and Trish and Willow and Kennedi, like, and Erica and Becca, like, it's just, it really is kind of like the best of the indies in this particular area at this moment. Like, and it's just such an honor to be able to be on a card with like so many like just strong and empowered divine women. Like, that's my witchy dream, just saying.
Do you
It's gonna
do
be
you
like
see
it's gonna be fun as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it's you know, yes, it's Kimberly, and that's a really, you know, difficult matchup. And yes, she's such a experienced veteran, but then it's just also, you know, being around all of these incredibly talented, strong, really cool women, like that's got to be just a great experience in and of itself.
It is. I love that WWR really creates a space where people can like share their characters and personalities with the fans. Anybody can go anywhere and just wrestle a match and be done with it, right? Like, I mean, you can just take a booking and go wrestle and be done with it. But I love that, you know, they've fostered such a cool environment for us to tell our stories in. And you get to see everybody's story and everybody's characters, like, or like Riley, the gladiator of the geeks, right? Like, and then you get this investment that you wouldn't be getting if you were just kind of like shooting through and then leaving, right? So I love that we have like such awesome fans that are along for the ride, and such awesome management that encourages us to grow and wants to see us tell these stories.
Yeah. Riley versus LMK is going to be an interesting match. You faced LMK on 2 occasions. Are you like kind of reaching over to Riley, kind of saying, hey, this is what, are you going to let them figure it out?
I mean, I think the biggest thing when preparing for, well, I've wrestled both ladies and both are excellent competitors. When I wrestled Riley, I felt like it was somebody who was very similar to me in style. So we had a really, really good kind of tit for tat exchange in our match that continued, like a cat and mouse game. But when I wrestled Kathleen, I was like, she has so much energy and she's very electric and she's very unpredictable. And that is very, very difficult to kind of wrangle. So in our first matchup, I fell short to her. But when I had my rematch, I came very well prepared to, what am I trying to say? To contain that energy, right? And make it manageable for myself. So like my advice to her would be like, girl, you know what you do. You do it very, very well. I know you do it well from the match I had with you. Do what you do well, contain her energy and make her play your game.
Nice. Is there, you know, again, thank you for joining us. And before we get you out of here, is there anything on the Americanrana card that you in particular think is going to be eye-opening, or maybe like a show stealer on that card?
You know, that's another one where like every match is just like, wow, that's awesome. I'm really interested to see how Matt Cardona's match goes and how his debut or return. I'm not entirely sure which one it is.
It's debut. I mean, I
will admit, I believe it's a debut.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how he's received by our fan base up there. That I think is going to be very compelling and very, very interesting. Yes, it is. So.
We also have Kennedi Copeland is going to be joining us momentarily. She just popped in.
She's great.
So I'm going to bring her in shortly. We'll say goodbye to you again. You've had a long day, and I'll see you on Sunday. Let me just bring her in so you two can kind of exchange pleasantries. And again, thank you so much.
Oh, hey.
Jeez.
Is that too much good energy for us?
Okay.
Right
No, you're good. We're good. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't know which one to push.
It's fine.
Give me several different options.
Technology. What is it?
It's overwhelming.
Everybody, Kennedi, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've had a bit of a day.
Let's turn this around
today.
I need all the good energy.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will pass some good energy on to
Bless.
you.
Kaia, thank you so much. I'll see you on Sunday. Good luck.
See you Sunday. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
See you later too, Kennedi.
Oh, that was Kaia McKenna. She's awesome. Now we have Kennedi Copeland joining us.
Oh my God. My phone keeps blowing up. No one ever texts me. And then like the one time I'm trying to do something, I swear to God.
Kennedi's joining us. She's got a match coming up with Addie Starr, who's coming back off of kind of a vacation. I know she hasn't been wrestling a lot. But both of you, this is going to be, is this like no DQ? What is this?
I don't know. I feel like it should be. I don't know what to expect going into Sunday. And I feel bad because I was worried about this because I'm like, I don't know what to talk about because I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, fortunately, you know, I've been a fan. We chatted at the Sunday Blitzkrieg Pro show where you took on Dr. Cube. Now, I'm not a memorabilia person. I'm not one of these people who wants autographs or stuff. I would risk jail to get that Dr. Cube head. I just want people to know.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have gotten it for you.
I know. I know
don't
you
care. What do I have to lose?
But you've been the past couple WWR shows. Your match against RSP was just a matchup. You've kind of worked your way through most of
Was a
matchup. You've worked your way through most of 440. I think you've also faced Atticus as well.
I would say more than one occasion. They faced him in a singles match and a multi-man.
And now you've got Addie Starr, and both of you. I mean, I saw her match against Nick Gage year ago. I mean, just you both are just gonna fight, right? Is that just this is how this is gonna go?
I feel like that's just what's gonna happen. That's all there is to it.
It's gonna be a fight. Is there any sort of like game plan, or do you just show up and just be like, all right, let's do
that's me every day.
The
Just
plan.
show up.
No plan.
I mean, I've studied several of her matches, but I did that before I knew I was going to be facing her, just because so many people have compared me to her. So I was like, I want to see what she's all about. And I was like, whoa, that's quite a compliment. So I feel as though I have a lot to live up to, I guess. And the competition's going to be fierce.
Yeah. Is it because again, I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say you both have similar bodies of work.
Yep.
So, I mean, between the intergender, the extremely physical style, the usage of audience members.
Dang, that's in her game plan too.
I mean, there's going to be enough people, Kennedi. You can probably grab whoever you want and just kind of chuck them at her, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help.
I don't know if they allow that at White Eagle. I don't know. See, I don't know.
I feel like you'd be okay because no one. Look, it's going to be.
Who's going to stop me?
Yeah, who's going to stop you? Exactly.
How was your DoorDash? We're going to divert for a little bit here.
All right. Okay, you're coming with me. It just got delivered and I don't want anybody stealing it. So I'm going to get it. He sent me a picture and say, left it at the door. How do I open this? Oh God. Guys, it's there.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Let's go.
Yeah. I had burritos for dinner. My housemate bought me burritos, and burritos taste better when somebody else just brings them to you.
Oh, yes. Yes. We had a, I don't know, work meeting or training or whatever it was the other day. Clearly I didn't pay attention. And they catered with Chipotle, and those burritos were so good. And I'm starting to think you're right.
They're huge though. Like they're like
oh
the size
God,
of like a weird baby, and it's just like how
a weird baby.
A weird baby. Well, it's an edible baby. And it's just like I never understand how anybody can just eat the whole thing.
I know. I ended up giving mine to a dog.
There you go.
Well, part of it. He didn't have the whole thing.
Yeah. What's everyone's like ideal burrito? Andrea, what's your ideal burrito?
My ideal burrito is like more of a San Francisco style burrito. Okay. And so typically I would go with like al pastor, maybe a little bit of cheese, but not too much cheese. I don't do sour cream. I think it's weird. And then pico. Respect. And whole black beans. And then I like a little bit of rice in my burrito too.
Okay. What about you, Kennedi? Where are you at with burritos?
I just grabbed whatever was available. But it had all that good stuff too. It had like rice and beans, and I agree, it was good.
Nice.
It was just filling.
Oh yeah.
Is there on this card, aside from your match, is there anything on here on this card or on throughout the both cards, be it WR show, Americanrana, that you are excited? Maybe you'll watch when you get home, or you'll kind of stick your head around the curtain and kind of check out?
Oh yeah, I'm sticking around. I don't want FOMO. I don't want to miss out. The first match that comes to mind is probably the tag team gauntlet, just because there's a number of great teams. I don't know who I'm gonna root for. I think I have an idea of who might win. I don't know if I want to say it though. And then as far as the Beyond show, I'm a sucker for a good Makowski match. So like, I know he's in a fatal 4-way, so I'm very excited to see 3 other dead bodies.
I'm working on, he's supposed to be joining us at some point during this. Maybe
No
I have to
way.
go, but yes, so I will pass that along. If you're not, but he's so good. And we were talking prior to Kai and you joining us that whoever wins this should be getting their shot at the IWTV title. But Makowski, I don't think he's been racking up wins left and right over the past 6 months.
I think he just deserves one, period. I mean,
Yeah,
what
right?
do I know?
I think it's weird that it's like it's a 4-way match and it's like a breakout match, and it's just like I think
I'm
Matt
pretty
Makowski's
sure
been-
he's
he's broken out in the past year.
Yeah, I mean, but also now he's dealing with, I mean, to look at all 4 of those folks in there, you got Willow, Trish, Alec, everyone has kind of knockout power in one. I mean, Alec's got that, he's got these 2 kicks that because he's so long, he just boots people. Willow's got that spine buster and that power bomb, and Trish has got Lariat Tubman, which is rated E for everybody. So, I love Makowski as much as the next person, but this is a lot to deal with for everybody in this match.
Yeah, and I've made the mistake of underestimating Price before. I'm like, he's just some skinny kid, but my God, I think he has lifted me better than like anybody else I've ever faced, which is that's saying something.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Yeah,
He is.
so be on the lookout for him. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he comes out. He's this sugared up toddler. He bounces around. He bounces around the ring, but he gets in there. He's so long. He's got the length, and he just starts like kicking people and flailing. Not flailing because he knows how to wrestle. But I've seen him just straight like put a foot through somebody's head and then done, and he's got the win. And I'm just like, okay, people start taking him seriously at Tournament for Tomorrow when he hung with Christian Casanova for 15-20 minutes.
I started to take him seriously after he kneed me in the head. So yes, I can confirm all of that.
We were also talking about, because we know you love violence.
Is that the rep I have?
In a good way, though.
In a good way.
In the best way, honestly. But Slade and Bear Country taking on the new Club Clam with like Aaron Rourke and Bryce and Bobby. And as much as I like Bryce and Bobby and Aaron, I think Bear Country and Slade are going to kill them, like kill them.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't even realize that was on the cards. Now I'm like,
that got announced last week.
Yeah, it's like I think there might be a funeral after the show.
I know. Ooh.
Yeah,
if not mine, then somebody else's.
No.
I think
what a way to go out.
What a way to go out.
I mean, honestly, if there was a match at Americanrana you could insert yourself into, it would be that one, wouldn't it be?
I'll let you know how I'm feeling after mine.
I'll be around. Just come out.
Ideas. I mean,
just come out and check. You know how Drew loves last minute changes. Just come out and say, I'm in this match now. Because if you jump in, because if you are on the Slade Bear Country team, that means Cam has to go in with his team. I don't know if that's the rule, but I'm making that up.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the rule.
Sounds good to me. You tell me what you want me to do, and I'll just I won't have a second thought.
If Kennedi is able, after her match with Eddie Starr, which is going to be, I think, an amazing physical match. I'll say physical instead of violent. Then you can throw her in with Bear Country, and then they can just use her as a weapon against Cam and all that.
There you go.
Perfect.
Kenny, I know you've had a day. Thank you very much for joining us and popping in.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Sunday.
At least this didn't get canceled.
Oh, no, yeah, anybody who follows your Twitter saw you had a flight canceled. So are you not making that?
As of right now, it looks like I'm not, only because I had to, so my flight to Vegas got canceled, and then I had to cancel the flight back in order to get like the refund for all of that.
Oh, geez.
And unfortunately it's, it was next to impossible to get, a flight to there, but then I'd have to now I'm looking at getting 2 flights because then I'd have to get one back in order to make it to Intergender Bonanza on Saturday. And then I also as you can see, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all. So knowing my luck, I would probably get there and then get stuck and then miss both Saturday and Sunday. So unfortunately, it's looking like I won't be there. I'm just trying to have the mindset of everything happens for a reason. So we'll see.
Gives you a day to rest. You have Intergender Bonanza on. So what's coming up on Saturday? Can folks watch that, or is that streaming? What's the deal with
that's gonna be on IWTV. And you're gonna see me beat up Mark Angel. I don't need a rest day for that. That's gonna take nothing.
Are you gonna treat that as like a little bit like warm up, get some cardio in before Sunday?
Oh yeah, that was that's the only game plan I had going into this weekend. I was like, okay, so that's gonna be the warm up round. No, I'm just kidding.
Kennedi, thank you so much. Enjoy your DoorDash. We will see you
Thank
again
you.
Sunday,
Enjoy your dinner.
Sunday, 1
Thank
o'clock,
you.
White Eagle, and against Hattie Star. Have a good one.
Thank you as well. Bye.
All right. Had guest pop in. I'm working on Matt Makowski. We're still working. Hopefully I can get him to pop in here soon. But it's going to be a show. Andrea, what's going on your side of the world? You got Warrior Wrestling coming up. You're going to Rampage on Friday.
Yeah.
Give me the rundown.
I'm going to AEW Rampage on Friday because I live in Chicago and I really couldn't pass up the opportunity to actually be in a building where people are chanting CM Punk because he's actually there. And like, I know that it's going to blow the roof off the place. And I would just feel really bad if like CM Punk is making his AEW debut in an arena that's like a mile and a half from my apartment. And then I wasn't there. And I'm just like sitting on my couch watching it. And like, I understand that it's going to be very risky. The United Center is sold out, which makes me a little bit nervous, but you know, master mandated again in the city of Chicago, and hopefully people will pay attention to that. But yeah, I mean, I could not. And honestly, just like the idea of John Moxley versus Daniel Garcia, like I'm really looking forward to that. Like that's
and Daniel Garcia getting a win against Matt Sydal on AEW.
I know.
Dark tap out win. Come on, Daniel Garcia. God, geez, he's just. I love that. He's been going in and like scrapping and getting. Yeah. Oh, I just love Daniel Garcia. Love
and you can tell that like AEW, like they're big on him. They're big on him, and they're big on 2.0, and also good for 2.0.
Good for them.
Because man, in NXT, I mean, they were like basically Ever Rise. It sounds like a like biscuit mix.
A little bit.
Get at the grocery store, you know, like Bisquick. And I was like, oh, here's your Ever Rise biscuit company.
Like a generic biscuit mix, not like a Bisquick or a high end. It's kind of like maybe the store brand that
it's like the store brand. So I'm it's good to see them actually being appreciated somewhere. I think that's really fascinating. And I'm like Jade Cargill versus Kiera Hogan. Like I'm into that match. Like I'm really into that match. I'm really into Jade Cargill. I think she's fantastic. I know she's still a little like green around the edges for sure, but I see big things there. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Saturday I'll be at Warrior Wrestling. Hopefully it'll be outside in the football stadium, but there's they're calling for potentially some thunderstorms, so it might be indoors, which is a bummer because I was going to bring like a whole bunch of charcuterie and just sit on a blanket and eat charcuterie and watch wrestling while the sun sets next to me, and it was going to be very nice. So hopefully I can still live that dream. But either way, that's going to be a great card. Thunder Rosa versus Kylie Ray. Like, come on.
Yeah, that would be that's worth price of admission right there. You don't need to tell me anything else on that card.
Oh yeah, I don't need to know. I Marco Stunt's going to be there. I think Brian Cage, he's always around. But the main thing is, you know, oh my God, it's Thunder Rosa versus Kylie Ray. Like, I don't care who else is wrestling. I will buy tickets to that show.
I mean, that's, you know, there's discussions I've had about the Chicago and that area. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, CM Punk. I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, that area right now, as long as she is around, is Kylie Ray territory.
Oh, absolutely.
That's if you're coming through Chicago and you want to have a big match and make a name, that's who you step in the ring with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and back to 2.0, good on those. Yeah, Everrise, but the stuff they were doing that was entertaining was away from NXT. It was their YouTube show, their stuff they were doing. And now them a young, new, fresh tag team going into AEW is a nice injection. That tag team scene's been a little weird because of injuries.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
Bear Boulder.
been- Mhm.
Injury bug, you know, I know Santana got hurt and he kind of had injuries back to back. Bear Boulder got hurt. Butcher had a hand injury. So the tag teams have been a little, you know, it's been
Yeah, Dante Martin, he's been out too.
Yeah,
which,
he's been out.
Which has been great for Darius. I mean, Darius has just
Yeah.
like really become something. But yeah, I mean, so that's good for him. But yeah, the tag team situation there's been half a team here and there.
I mean, Dante Martin versus Lee Moriarty the other night on AEW Dark. I mean, whew. Dark is. I like how they're like 2-3 months into Dark, people were dogging Dark, and now that they're back on the road and they're able to get in, like the mission of Dark and Dark Elevation is to elevate the independent talent in any area they may be in. Being at Daly's place, they could only do so much of it. They could bring people in, which they did, but now that they're out and traveling, you're getting to see these names like the Daniel Garcias and the Lee Moriartys of the world. And the fact that that crowd reacted to Lee like they did was like amazing.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I'm really curious, like which Chicago indie people are going to show up for the Dark taping that is going to be happening before Rampage. Also, I'm really hoping that whether it's Dark or Dark Elevation, whatever they're going to be taping before Rampage on Friday, I hope to see Fuego. I'm so happy for Fuego.
Yeah, that was a solid story. I don't watch every Dark, but I watched enough BTE to know what was going on with Fuego. And yeah, for him to get signed and for Sammy, his buddy, to come out and the one present him with the contract was great. So yeah, I think they record, or so I would assume they record Dark, they record some other stuff maybe for Elevation, and then Rampage starts. I like it.
Doors are at 7 Central, and then but Rampage is at 9 Central. So then there's gonna be 2 hours of
wrestling
of Dark Elevation tapings before that, I would assume.
I like a live 1-hour show on a Friday night of wrestling. I think I watched the first Rampage and I didn't know what to expect. I was like, 3 matches, really? Okay, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm involved in all these matches, and the crowd was great. And I like the format. It's a tight format. They do a couple other segments, but 3 matches, some talk, some promotion. It works.
Yeah, no, it works. It's great.
We're gonna filibuster here for a bit because Matt Makowski needs a few minutes. He's gonna pop in around 9-ish. It's only 10 minutes. We can certainly talk about Matt Cardona and Teddy Goods. I won't talk about it for 10 minutes, but like Kaia McKenna said, she's worked with GCW. She's worked ring crew for GCW. You can check that out on my other interview I did with her. When Matt Cardona won that GCW title, like they had to rush and get him out of there because
I am not surprised because like that's what happened the year earlier with Ricky Shane Page, and that crowd was furious, and he had to get the hell out of there. I can only imagine how quickly they had to remove Matt Cardona from that building because some people get like violent about this stuff, and like people had been in that building and like drinking all day, and you know what I mean, like
it's
very old school though.
It is. And Kaia had said like when it happened, it was such a shock. Like it took him a second. And then she was like, all right, we need to she was grabbed by some other people and they got him out.
Yeah.
But the reaction, Nick Gage is their guy. GCW has a very devoted fan base. Nick Gage is their guy. Yes. Matt Cardona represents everything they don't like about professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He's the corporate, he's with WB for how long? 9 years, 10 years?
Yeah.
I mean, and he kind of did everything that was asked of him there. And he's, he's got the Major Figures podcast, and he's got this whole, and then he walks in there on his first match, beats their guy in a death match.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really I personally got swerved on that. I should have seen this. I should have seen it coming. You know what I mean? Like, like GCW likes to mess with people. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah,
like to mess with the fans. They do a really good job of that. And I really should have seen it coming, but I really like went into that match just being like, oh my God, Cardona, like he knows what he's getting into, but he doesn't know what he's getting into. And he is going to, it's going to be bad news. And then it was like, okay, it's like I should have seen that coming, because like that reaction from the crowd at that result is way more valuable to GCW than Nick Gage winning and retaining that title. You know what I mean?
I know, and I said this to Kaia, and I've only met Brett Lauderdale once or twice in passing, kind of, hi, how are you? Fan of the show, fan of stuff you do. I'm sure when that match was over, wherever Brett was, he kind of had that little smile on his face. Anyone who's seen him on Dark Side of the Ring knows he was like, you know, he kind of does that nod and that little smile that he does, and it's like, and yeah, for, you know, originally, now here's the thing, I got quote unquote work because I didn't think this match was ever going to happen. Originally, when someone said something and then Nick Gage tweets at Matt Cardona, and Cardona's like, hey man, I don't want death matches, isn't my thing. I don't. And then there were people I were talking who I know were GCW fans. I'm like, man, he's not going to wrestle Nick Gage.
Nick Gage, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what's he doing wrestling Nick Gage? Just no need for this. And then as it started to build, even in until they actually announced it, I was like, can this happen? Would Cardona do this?
Yeah.
And what's gonna be the hook and the back? And then when he announced it, I'm like, oh. And then as things started going, I'm like, he might actually win this thing. Like, and I got shouted down in a Twitter thread, like, for daring to suggest that Matt Cardona could win this. And now,
those people who were yelling at you probably don't even remember.
and now he's their champion, and he's making it known and letting him know.
Oh my God. Day. Yeah. He's rubbing it in, and he's making sure that people stay mad. You know, he's doing that work right now. And it's working. People are so pissed.
He did oral sessions with Renee Paquette, and he had the GCW belt with him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's like, hey, here it is. I'm the GCW title. I'm the Deathmatch King. And Renee's podcast, her that thing, she's on the Volume Network with Colin Cowherd. That thing gets tens of thousands of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There are people that are going to tune into GCW on him.
Yeah,
based on him.
It's so crazy too, because it's like people tuned in to AEW because Nick Gage was facing Jericho, and now people are tuning into GCW because Matt Cardona. It's like wrestling is just so wild right now. I think that's really awesome too. It's just like all of this like cross pollination is so good for business, and I feel like there's a company based in Connecticut that's being left behind.
Yep, it's a thing. I want to talk on that one more thing, but let's not leave out, he is taking on Teddy Goods. Yes. I love Teddy Goods. Teddy is a New England institution. Anyone who's gone to independent shows up here knows who Teddy Goods is. He's also a small business owner. He owns Kojo's Toy World up in Massachusetts. You know, the guy, you know, he's the best friend of Chris Dickinson. He's the guy Chris Dickinson credits with kind of getting him back from a few years ago where he wasn't into wrestling and he wasn't doing his best work, to where, you know, Teddy got him back on the path to all the things he's achieved. He's credited Teddy with that. Mm-hmm. And Cardona's going to show up. I wonder if he'll show up with the GCW. He may not. I don't see him bringing the GCW title there, but he is coming accompanied by Smart Mark Sterling.
Yes.
You know, which is a Mark Sterling. Everyone up here has this weird hate-love relationship with Mark Sterling. A lot of folks in Massachusetts love him because that's where he kind of started when he was at Creative Pro and he's down with those guys. Mm-hmm. But he was doing, you know, these little shows, you know, here and there and doing his thing. And he's got some great merch, and now he's popped up on TV. Jade Cargill's a client.
Yes.
You know, he's the mastermind of the Major Pod Network. I mean, so I'm hoping that this is it. Whether win or lose, I want a clean, give me a straight up wrestling match.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
I don't know if that's possible, Especially I don't trust anybody when they're accompanied by Mark Sterling in the managerial role. Just because you don't hire Mark Sterling to like be on the up and up about stuff. Particularly when you're talking about being and beyond. So I feel like there might be a little fuckery, if you will. But
shenanigans.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we know who the crowd's going to be supporting.
Oh yeah, we love Teddy up here. It's going to be a day. I'm in Connecticut. This has gone from a preview show to unofficial wrestling chat, and that's how we're going to leave it because I don't format my shows anymore. WWE's they've been shedding talent. NXT is being reconfigured after releasing, hey, you know what? Y'all just made the indies a lot more fun because Bobby Fish is doing his first indie show like in 2 weeks.
Do the horse, Bobby. I don't know if you know that RJ City story.
No.
I mean, you should probably look it up on like YouTube because he explains it better. But let's just say, do the horse, Bobby.
I became a fan of Bobby Fish and Kyle when they were in New Japan as Red Dragon.
Yeah.
When they're running around that tag team division, and when they bought them into NXT, I was like, all right, we're gonna get some good stuff. We get the Undisputed Era, and then here we are a couple years later, and Cole's off by himself. Rumor is he hasn't re-signed, and they've been making him a very nice offers.
Yeah, and he's not feeling it or something.
Something's, I don't know what's
Something's
up. There's a lot of change happening with NXT. I am happy to, however, that, and I don't want to say our boy, but someone we've supported up here, Christian Casanova, now known as Carmelo Hayes, running through the breakout tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his first match in NXT was against his first 2 matches were Kushida and Adam Cole.
Yep.
I mean,
I know.
The guy's a fucking star, and I'm happy that everyone gets to see it now. Everyone's still watching NXT.
Yeah, that was the bummer thing for me though with Alex Zane, because he was just killing it on 205 Live. I mean, just beating veteran after veteran. And I know that nobody really watches 205 Live, but like those matches were all really good. And then he just becomes a casualty of Vince and that crew, and not even Triple H and Shawn Michaels being like, well, we don't want people who are over 30 in NXT. And so like Alex Zane, who's like winning matches and doing his Alex Zane stuff, the entertaining, eye-popping kind of stuff, it doesn't matter because he's too old, so he's out of there.
Well, all the folks they brought in when they brought in August Gray, who we know is Anthony Green up here. I mean, they brought those guys in and gave 205 Live a shot in the arm. I mean, Gray, I'll just call him Anthony Green because that's just going to be easier for me.
And Anthony Henry, they cut him too.
August Gray and Kurt Stallion are like, we're running 205 Live for 3 months and putting on great matches. Yeah, Anthony Henry, which look, if we don't get the Workhorsemen back together as a tag team, hitting every promotion they can, someone's messing up.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I understand JD Drake's doing his thing in AEW, and he's got a nice opportunity there with like the Wingman, whatever that whole deal is. But get Anthony Henry and JD Drake back together. I don't care if it's AEW, Impact, Limitless, bring them here to Beyond. The Workhorsemen need to get back on the road again.
Absolutely. They're so great.
But it's gonna be a week. You've got Warrior on Sunday. I'm going up for both shows. It's gonna be a day. It's gonna be.
And then Labor Day weekend, I'm staying out in the suburbs at a hotel because I'm going to the freelance show because they're doing like a Midwest GCW and other Midwest promotions are doing the Midwest Summit during All Out weekend here in Chicago. So going out to the burbs, doing the freelance show that Friday, that Saturday night doing the GCW War Games show.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Sunday doing Effie's Big Gay Brunch. And then I might try to figure out a way to get into the Black Label Pro GCW 3 Cup Stuff show as well. I might just weasel my way into that somehow.
Those are all solid shows. I mean, Effie's Big Gay Brunch has been a huge hit. If you had told me 5 years ago that there would be a show called Effie's Big Gay Brunch, and not only would it would it succeed? It would exceed expectations.
Yes.
I would have been like, okay. But every one of those shows have been great.
They've been amazing. They've been amazing. So I'm really looking forward to all of that. But that's going to be a really, really long and crazy weekend. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't end up getting tickets for All Out, because I think by the time the AEW pay-per-view is about to start, I'm going to want to be at home on my couch.
Just curl up.
And just be like, okay, like, I don't want to be around any more people. I don't want to be around anybody who's like White Claw wasted anymore. I just want to sit here.
I kind of did the same thing a few years ago when they did Mania in Jersey. I wasn't going to go to Mania, I couldn't afford it. But
yeah,
they started doing shows in New York that Wednesday, and I went to shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday. By time Sunday afternoon, and I went to a show Sunday like early afternoon, I was done. I got on the train. I got on like the 2 o'clock that left Grand Central, was heading back to. I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna go watch WrestleMania, curled up on my bed, like hydrating and like eating snacks.
Exactly. I know that by the time All Out happens, I'm not gonna want to be there.
yeah, and I like how they've kind of taken now this. Yeah, they've taken like Labor Day and Memorial Day weekend, and they've kind of adopted those as their weekends, because the WWE isn't doing anything on those weekends.
Yep.
And you're not gonna there's certain, I think even Cody had even said, someone asked him about like running shows on Mania weekend. He's like, you know what, that's their weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They've established that weekend in April's theirs. We'll take Memorial Day. We'll take Memorial Day, and now they're taking Labor Day. And all right, let me give me 1 sec. I'm trying to get Matt Makowski in here so we can. Here we go. Hey, what's up, Matt? How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, thanks for making the time. I know it's going to be a busy couple days. Joining me is Andrea Hangst from PWI.
Hey.
Let's just get right to it, man. This 4-way match. I am of the opinion, I feel like Andrea is too. You should probably have a shot at the IWTV title already. So, what is?
I really appreciate you guys saying that. I really appreciate it. I don't know how quick it was going to be until that came up, because I don't want to seem ungrateful for being part of this event. And this is not, it just, it's not the match. It's not the exact match I wanted, but you can't always get what you want. So I'm going to play ball, and I got 4 or 3 really strong opponents here, and I'm going to do everything I can to come out victorious. So, and then just keep making my case.
I mean, I would assume if you end up winning this match, that like obviously the next step is taking on Wheeler Yuta for the title. I mean, there's no other place to go after that if you would win this match. I
really appreciate you saying that, and that's my plan, and that's what I hope. Who knows what's up with Chris though? Chris is the one fighting Rally and Yuta in the main event, and not me. So who's to say Chris wouldn't be? What happens, depending on what happens in that match, maybe Chris would be in line for a title shot or what have you. Who knows? But off the rip there, I appreciate you guys saying that, because that's kind of where my head's at. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking with Kennedi Copeland just a little bit ago. She was very complimentary. She's excited for your match. I mean, this is a 4-way, as far as I assume. It's not an elimination. This is a single fall match.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Okay, so it's you versus Alec Price versus Trisha Dora versus Willow Nightingale. Yes. I mean, this is, and all 4 of you have knockout capability.
Yeah.
Is this a game plan? Do you just try and find whoever the closest to you is? I mean,
it's tough. I've never been in the ring with Alec or Trish. I did wrestle Willow once at Chikara in a trios match, but and yeah, I felt her power in that match, now that I recall. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a lot of weapons at my disposal. I can win a match in a lot of different ways. I have, I can win by knockout, submission, and it's all quick. I don't necessarily need a 1, 2, 3. You know, it can be boom and it's over. So the people, you know, my opponent won't even get a chance to come in and break it up or whatever, you know, interfere. So I'm just gonna be like head hunting the whole time, or hunting for arms, whatever, legs, limbs, necks, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was my two big things is your power, your grappling. Trish Adora's got Larry Tubman. That thing comes out of nowhere and just takes people's heads off.
Yeah.
You know, Alex got that weird. He has like two or three different kicks because he's so damn long. Willow would just and Willow would just grab you and just drive you into the mat. I mean, it's just it's a lot. Yeah, and they're calling it a breakout match. I don't get that, but it is what it is. You know, it's a cool, catchy name, and it's on the biggest show of the year for Beyond Wrestling.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I'm really I'm happy to be, you know, a part of the event, and again, like I said, I'm down to play ball, but my patience probably is going to wear more and more thin if this kind of stuff continues, at least without getting a shot. You know, it's just I feel like I have a strong case.
I mean, dude, you've been on a run the past 2-3 months. I mean, you've been tapping people out, knocking people out. I mean, I
mean, if you're talking about just Beyond Wrestling alone, I mean, again, to bring Chris up again, I think me and Chris have the last 2 victories over Wheeler Yuta at Beyond Wrestling, or maybe in general, since he won the belt. With Chris having the last, I wrestled Yuta in the first match of the Greatest Rivals Round Robin tournament back in what was that, March or February, and so yeah, I mean, there's a strong case there, and then I'm 8-0, or 5-0 since live shows have come back, and then if you count the 3 wins in the tournament, and all against like some of the best technical guys in Beyond Wrestling, and it's been a grind.
You say play ball, and I get it. You're super professional, super nice, but I feel like if you win this match, when you win this match, I mean, just demand a fucking shot. Like, I've just beaten 3 of the best Beyond has to offer, on top of with wins over Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah,
I don't see. I mean, and Chris Dickinson aside, I don't see anyone else in that sphere.
Yeah, at least not in Beyond Wrestling right now. I mean, maybe Slade, but I mean, Slade did just get pinned by Yuta, but like, but yeah, I feel like maybe the person coming out of this 4-way is maybe next in line, at least in terms of at Beyond Wrestling.
I'm excited for it. Andrew, what do you have something for Matt?
I'm just excited about this match. I think it's just it's a really great combination of 4 people. I think personally, Matt is like the favorite to win this match, just because of his all around skill set, the past year that he's had. I feel like he's already broken out. I'm not entirely, like you said, I don't know exactly why this is called a breakout match, because we got recognizable names in this match. And I absolutely think that I don't know why it's called a breakout match instead of like a number 1 contenders match for the IWTV title.
They're scared. I don't know. I have no idea. I like I said, I feel like they're protecting Yuta or something. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so let me just expand on that a little bit. Do you think that maybe they like having Yuta as the champ for certain reasons? I mean, Lee Bernardi was a good champ.
Because maybe Yuta is prominently featured on AEW right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering how long that I guess that lasts, as far as him being, if he's consistently on television. If that's, I guess it would be good for the belt.
Except they never mentioned the belt. They never mentioned that he's IWTV champ.
Well, they did mention he had a 60-minute match.
Yeah.
They kind of brought that up a little bit, that he wrestled Daniel Garcia on the Independence, which was interesting. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, at what point does maybe someone else need to represent IWTV that's like truly independent, you know? Because I guess Wheeler and guys like Daniel, they might be on their way out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you would represent the belt very well. I'm one of those people that anyone who holds that title should be a fighting champion.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what the title's there for.
Yeah.
If you look at past champions, when Gresham had it, when Hot Sauce Tracy Williams had it, Orange had it, Warhorse defended that thing everywhere.
Yeah, Warhorse defended it everywhere.
So, I mean, and you wrestle everywhere. So I see no reason why you shouldn't at least have an opportunity at this point.
Right.
Or
I feel like I would be able to, I have a decent relationship with a lot of companies on IWTV, and I think I would be, could be a good representative for IWTV.
there it goes. Still there? Did we lose him? Might have lost him.
Yeah, no, sorry.
That's fine, no problem. I wanted to talk some fun stuff before we let you go. Matt has a great Twitch channel. Please check it out. He streams a couple of nights a week. I would strongly recommend Shoot Style Sunday because Matt brings his MMA and his training experience to like old school All Japan. You've had Pancrase on there. You've had Pride.
All the old school like Battle Arts, UWFI. A lot of the old school like 90s Japanese shoot style wrestling and some more contemporary stuff as well.
We also, as a special treat, get Calcio once in a while.
Yeah, Calcio Storco every now and then. Italian like rugby prison fighting. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, Andrew, if you haven't seen it, it is guys in Italian prison. Yeah, it's rugby.
It's not really prison.
Not really rugby. Prison. It's just
like no rules rugby.
Yeah, it's a bunch of dudes in like blousey pants, like medieval pants. Guys can fight one-on-one. No one can gang up. If you get somebody down, they got to stay down for. We figured out the rules as we've watched it.
Yeah, it's just as you keep watching. This sounds extremely fascinating. I have to see this. I have to see this.
not this Sunday because he'll be busy.
Yes.
But typically on Sundays, Shoot Style Sunday, and the other usually Thursday evenings. I think Tuesdays you go.
Yeah, I'll play some games with some folks on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we watch wrestling on Sunday nights.
Yep. So Sundays is good. Matt, I look forward to it. I will be in the building.
Awesome.
Good. I mean, good luck. I mean, this could be match of the show.
I concur.
And honestly, you demand a title shot if you win. That's all I have.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and I appreciate your your opinions and everything. And I think if I do end up winning on Sunday, I will do that.
Awesome.
All right, Matt. Yeah, follow him, Matt. Is it Weapon X on Twitch or Matt Makowski?
Twitch is Weapon X Matt, and Twitter is the Matt Makowski.
Follow him. Matt's a good follow, and the Twitch is great. Thanks, Matt.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night.
Later. Oh, yeah. So yeah, he's ready. Everyone saw the video that he put out. Yeah, I don't understand why he doesn't have a shot, but this is gonna be, I think, this could be one of those matches that I know some people aren't sure of it because they love Trish, they love Matt, they love Willow to death, and I think people are still kind of about Alec Price.
Yeah,
but I think this is the match that I think elevates everybody. But Matt wins this thing; he has to get a shot.
He has to get a shot if he wins this thing. And if we have to, we should just bother Drew over and over again, and bother the IWTV guys, and just write a petition.
The one match. The one match we didn't get a chance to talk about, it's a tag team match. They're calling it a generational tag team match. It is going to be Masha Slamovich and Layla Hirsch, who was your first match in Beyond back since she signed with AEW, taking on Jordan Grace and Kimberly. And that is present meeting, I don't want to say past, but contemporaries.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I think that, that's, to me, this is like a who's who of women's wrestling in terms of the standard bearers, if you will, people like Kimberly and Jordan Grace are among these standard bearers, and Masha and Layla are both just the name recognition is starting to go through the roof with both of those women, and they're killing it in every match. And so that I think is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be like one of the more underrated, under the radar kind of matches where but by the end of it, like the crowd they're going to have the crowd in the palms of their hands.
Yeah, I mean, since she's come back from Japan, Masha's been on a heater, win or lose.
Yes.
I mean, her matches have been amazing. She
Yes.
made her debut on Dark this past week, in a solid match against Penelope Ford. Then Penelope got, jumped her afterwards, which was kind of mean. But Masha kind of does that on the independent, so it didn't bug me as much as it bugged other people. But yeah, I mean, Masha, legit. Layla Hirsch is an amazing competitor, and then Kimberly and Jordan Grace are like. Jordan Grace is kind of a legend up here for Beyond and WWR, and it's going to be interesting to see those elements clash. So we get Chris Dickinson versus Rally, 4 people, dork ass Alexander James, Logan Easton LaRue, who I like. I've interviewed Logan on the show before. Richard Holiday, who's great. Wheeler Yuta, with his beard now, he's Evil Yuta.
Evil Yuta.
We had Matt Makowski on. We've got this Club Cam versus Club Cam getting murdered match, which is going to happen. A great WWR code. Folks, tune in. Still space to get into the WWR show. The White Eagle in Worcester, doors at 12. Show starts at 1. Beyond starts at 6. Beyond Americanrana is sold out. I have tickets. I will be in the building. I will be sending out pictures and videos as much as I can. But I'm also not going to be sober all that long because I'm going to be staying up there. So,
and I will be watching on IWTV, and I also can't promise that I will be sober.
Andrea, where can folks find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at fball_Andrea. That's FBALL_Andrea. That's where I do most of my wrestling tweetings and such. And I also contribute to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I do their On the Indies column in each edition. And the latest one is, in fact, on newsstands now. It just came out. It's a profile on Without a Cause, pro wrestling out of Seattle, and how they're making their return to live events here in a couple of weeks. And so just talking about the choice to not be able, or sort of choice, or being forced to not being able to run shows for this long, and the process of getting back at it. So
yeah. I'm on Twitter at Matt P. Douglas, YouTube at the Turnbuckle Bandwagon. Folks, enjoy the shows. It's going to be a great weekend. IWTV is going to have stuff on all weekend.
Yeah, there's stuff all weekend. I think there's a 2-part Freelance Underground show, and then there's the show that was it Kai or Kennedy was talking about, that they're doing that intergender showcase show.
Yeah, Stan Styles Intergender Bonanza. I believe that's
Yeah,
on Saturday.
so
I don't know the time, but
that's on IWTV as well. So yeah, it's a loaded weekend of pro wrestling.
But on
We're getting
Sunday,
back to it.
yeah, Sunday 1:00, settle in, get your snacks. You have a little break. The WR show is going to go a couple hours. Then there's going to be, I think, like an hour or so break between the end of that show and then the start of Americanrana. Again, folks, support your local independent wrestling. Search them out. Go to shows. Even if you don't like wrestling, just go and have a good time. We'll see you on the internet. I've got to figure out a better close for this show.